Hey guys, welcome back to Narrow Path Relay, where I take an idea or a bit of a sermon or something that I heard on a good podcast throughout the week, and I present it to you all for a little bit of further thought on a specific thing, or somehow that it can impact your life in a personal way. So here I am with the baton, and I'm about to pass it back to you. So here we go. On Sunday, during Pastor Mike's message, we heard a little bit about who God is as opposed to, or in conjunction with, who we are. I want you to ask yourself, what is the purpose of Sunday service? Go on, ask yourself. What did you say? Regardless of what you said, we call it a worship service. So, who is being served? Who is being worshipped? Who is doing the serving? Do you have any answers for any of those questions? Does any of this change as we are now in a remote way of worshiping? I'm going to keep asking you even more questions. When the choir or the praise team or whomever sings, is it for the congregation or is it for God? Now, I miss seeing the congregation, and I'm sad that I haven't been able to meet you students and your families any more than I have been so far. I look forward to improving our relationships when we get back together. But the whole purpose of our service is worshiping God. We are serving God by giving Him worship. The songs are done to give worship to God, not, in fact, for the congregation. Ooh, that's a strange thought. Now, there's a natural progression. We give worship to God. The musicians and the instrumentalists and everyone give worship to God, and a natural outflow of that is that the congregation hears about the goodness of God, is reminded about the love of God, and they are blessed through that. But make no mistake, God is the main audience. To clarify this point, do you remember the song Heart of Worship, or Coming Back to the Heart of Worship? That song, when it was originally written, there was a congregation that was struggling, and the senior pastor decided through prayer and other things that he needed to refocus his congregation. So he decided to do away with all the sound systems. He got rid of the instruments. He said the worship portion is going to be nothing but voices. This wasn't because he disliked the music. He wanted to refocus his congregation. That sanctuary was going to be mighty quiet if the congregation didn't join in praising. Thinking about this, when we are normally attending church, do you participate or were you more of a spectator? Were you worshiping God? Was that your purpose for being there? Or did you come to socialize? Did you come to be entertained? Only you can answer that question. How can we take advantage of our current time of remote worship to improve our worship muscles? Right? You got to work out your muscles or else they get smaller or don't get any bigger. So when you watch these videos, do you watch them like a TV show or do you do the best you can to interact? Like when we're going through the book of John in our other video series, are you reading through the verses along with me and seeing how they connect with what I'm jabbering on about, or do you just watch them and blankly stare at the screen? Let me take you to Psalm 100. It says, "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into His presence with singing. Know that the Lord, He is God. It is He who made us, and we are His. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise. Give thanks to Him. Bless His name, for the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and His faithfulness to all generations." That is a whole list of reasons why you should make a joyful noise, and all of them are true about God. Notice, it does not say a well-rehearsed, perfect-pitched, professional noise, does it? It says joyful. Have you ever heard someone who's so happy about fill in the blank, receiving a present, seeing an old acquaintance, finding out their dog came home, their dog was lost and they came home, and they just make this weird shouty sound, and you're not sure if maybe they dropped a cast iron pan on their foot or what. It's a joyful noise. Make a joyful noise. I don't care what it sounds like. I seriously don't. Make a joyful noise. Do you personally join in during worship? This time of worship at home could be a wonderful chance to practice. What? Well, could it be that God is giving you a chance to practice worshiping alone in your own comfort area so that you have confidence to do so and do so gladly when we return to regular church attendance? If you're missing Sunday service, why? Take note of that. Are you missing it for an appropriate reason, or do you just really miss socialization? Well, I'm going to encourage you, specifically, take this chance to practice giving worship to God in your own comfort zone, so that our entire congregation can be more effective and willing to do so once we return to worshiping together. This will only improve the amount of worship that we are giving to a God who deserves every last ounce we can give him, and then some. This has been your second Narrow Path Relay. I've handed the baton to you. What are you going to do with it?